A video has emerged online of lectures given at the Green Lane Mosque in Birmingham where an unnamed speaker describes the process for stoning a woman to death. He says, according to the Sharia again, when it comes to women, there must be a hole dug in the earth and she must be covered up to half of her body so that her does not appear. Well, it's nice that he's worried about her modesty, I suppose. This wasn't being said in Saudi Arabia, by the way, but this was here in the UK, in Birmingham, in the Green Lane Mosque, which has apparently hosted other controversial sermons pertaining to women, homosexuality and adultery. I mean, I suppose it's debatable that Birmingham is a less radicalised place than Saudi Arabia, but another preacher was allegedly filmed saying, "Take that homosexual man and throw him from the mountain," and that women were intellectually deficient and that it takes 2 witnesses of a woman to equal the 1 witness of a man. And they probably said some bad things as well. In a statement, the Green Lane Mosque and Community Centre said that it has been in the forefront of civic engagement, community integration and interfaith collaboration in Birmingham for many years. We promote sincere adherence to Islam as a religion of peace, and we are also deeply committed to supporting those in need in our community. We take pride in upholding the laws of this country and we reject violence and extremism unequivocally. You might think that this is a fringe mosque for radicals, but the Green Lane Mosque is huge, with space for 3,500 worshippers. And it's not just tolerated by the authorities, it's funded by them. The government awarded this mosque £2.2 million to work with young people. And guess who the head of education at the mosque is? It seems to be the same guy who's preaching in the videos. Man, we should be spending money to keep him away from young people, not putting them together. Next time you look at your payslip and wonder where all your money's gone, the government's taking it off you to give to groups such as this. The government says the grant is for empowering marginalised communities. I mean, I guess Islamic fundamentalists are a bit marginalised, but I think that's a good thing, and I really don't want the government to empower them that much. The mosque said in a statement, "The new youth centre we plan to build will provide a safe space for all young people locally, Muslim and non-Muslim, in an area where gang crime and antisocial behaviour are major concerns. It's the only project in the Greater Birmingham area that is in line to receive support from the Youth Investment Fund." How did this happen? Britain is the birthplace of Western liberal democracy. I blame Tony Blair. Tony Blair left us with a few issues that have damaged the country. Devolution created corrupt satellite parliaments that tried to tear the country apart. And PFI lumbered the taxpayer with debts for decades. But Tony Blair's drive for multiculturalism, where imported cultures are ghettoised instead of being integrated into our society, has been a disaster. We now have grooming gangs and 40,000 Islamists on terror watch lists. We don't just have terror attacks on our shores, Britain is now an exporter of Islamic terror, with a Texas synagogue terrorist hailing from Blackburn in Lancashire. Victims are targeted for their politics, as when David Amos was tragically stabbed to death, or for their lifestyle, as when men were horrifically executed by a jihadist in Reading for being gay. And all this engenders resentment and fear of the majority of decent Muslims who just want to get along and don't deserve to be caught up in any backlash. And it doesn't look like the problems caused by fundamentalist Islam and segregation are going to get better anytime soon. We already have de facto Islamic blasphemy laws in this country. When an autistic 14-year-old in Wakefield brought a Quran into school and it got slightly scuffed, he received death threats. But instead of prosecuting the people making the threats, which are illegal, the police charged the child with a non-crime hate incident. A super mosque is opening in the former Trocadero in London's Soho, a traditionally gay area. I'm sure that won't cause any friction. How long before gay men are told by the police to tone it down a bit to avoid inflaming tensions? Most people around the world don't live in freedom. Western liberal democracy is an exception. The liberty we take for granted is fragile. Blair sowed the seeds of its downfall. Of course, anyone who suggests that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be allowing violent ideologies to flourish in the UK, or maybe we shouldn't import thousands of fighting-age men from failed Islamic states, is decried as a racist. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to grab a bag of popcorn, sit back and watch the clown show unfold.